stopped again as his target entered a busy Kawa, a boisterous neighborhood coffeehouse ubiquitous in Cairo. Men sat in chairs around small tables that spilled out into the center of the alley. They played backgammon and chess and smoked hookah pipes and cigarettes while drinking thick Turkish coffee or fragrant green tea. El Daboussi and his men walked past these open-air tables and continued deep into the dark room. Sam spoke softly to his cuff mic. "No, come back." "Yeah," Hamer replied to Driscoll's earpiece. "Subjects have stopped. They're in a coffee house on..." Sam scanned the walls and corners of the impenetrable market alleyway for a sign. Up and down the souk he saw stalls and canvas-covered kiosks, but no signs referencing its exact location. Sam had a better sense of direction humping through the mountains of Pakistan than he did right here in Cairo's Old Town. He chanced a surreptitious glance down to his map to get his bearings. "Okay, we just made a left off of Midan Hussein. I think we were still just north of Al-Badistan, say 50 meters from your location. Looks like our boy and his goons are going to sit and chat. How about you come over here and we can split the coverage?" "On the way." While Sam waited for his backup, he wandered over to a chandelier shop and gazed appreciatively at a glass light fixture. In the reflection of a large crystal bauble, he could see the front of the Kawa well enough to watch it in case his target left. But instead of anyone leaving, he saw 3 other men step into the Kawa from the opposite direction. Something about the look of the leader of this little pack gave him pause. Driscoll chanced to pass by the entrance, and he looked inside as if he was searching for a friend. There, in the back against a stone wall, Mustafa El Daboussi and his men sat at a table right next to the new arrival of his men. "Interesting," Sam said to himself as he wandered off a few yards away from the coffeehouse's entrance. Dom arrived in the alleyway a minute later, shouldered up to Sam as both men picked through the wares in another tiny kiosk. Driscoll leaned over a table and pulled a pair of jeans out of the pile as if to look them over. He whispered to his partner. "What was that? Dom did not react. He only turned to a cheap mannequin at the front of the stall and pretended to look at the tag on the vest that hung on the wall. While doing so, he looked past the plastic life-size figure and into the cafe across the street. Driscoll passed behind him closely. Dom whispered, "It's about damn time. I'm waiting for days. Here, let's grab a table at the cafe across the way. Get some pictures of these jewelers. We'll send them back to Ray and see if his needs can idea. One in back if he's in charge." A minute later, the 2 Americans sat in the shade under an umbrella in the open-air cafe that faced the Kaaba. A waitress in a chowder stepped up to the table. Dom took the lead with the order, much to the surprise of Sam Driscoll. "No Asiata?" he said with a polite smile, and then motioned to himself and Sam. The woman nodded and stepped away. "Do I want to know what you just ordered us?" "2 Turkish coffees with extra sugar." Sam shrugged, stretched the tight scar tissue